Hello everybody, Michaela here. How's it going? I'm just getting ready and thought I would film because I've been up a little bit earlier and feel like I have a lot more energy. But yeah, I'm just gonna put on my makeup and whatever I chat about, I chat about. I have no idea what I'm gonna talk about. So I'm just starting with the Charlotte's Magic Serum Crystal Elixir. I got this gifted from work, so I'm very appreciative of that. I used it yesterday for the first time, so I'm just applying this now. I don't really know how to describe the smell. It doesn't smell bad by any means, but I don't really know what it smells like. It is a bit of a fragrance, but it might just be the ingredients. I don't know if it's a specific fragrance. I didn't get the actual ingredients list or like a box for this, so if I find out more, I'll let you know. So I'm gonna let this sit for a bit, and I should apply sunscreen as well. Oh, damn, I'm gonna have to wait for this to dry. So I guess I'll just start on my brows. My brows are different every day. I'm very grateful for the microblading by Francesca Bruni. So I probably should have gotten into the habit of wearing makeup on them less to start. But it's just something that I love doing so much. But it's just really great to not worry about not having brows when I'm not wearing makeup. My brow techniques are different every single day. They never always look completely the same. So I'll just kind of describe what I'm currently going to do today and what I've been kind of leaning towards in the past couple weeks. So the Benefit Powmade Brow Pomade. I am in love with this product. So it's very similar to the Anastasia Brow Dip, which is a big favorite of mine and everyone else's for sure. And I'm using the Cozzette number 9 brush. This one is an angled, can you see that yet? No, come on, clear up, man. Oh, you can see it when so it's actually a little bit thicker on the application part. So I just like to do like little tapping motions, but what I like to do is focus on just doing the middle of the brow, not going up and down on the top and then up and down on the bottom, like creating a line. I like to just focus on the middle of the brow. And I also found I really like doing that with Rare Beauty blush, which I'll show you after this, or once I get to that step. So I'm just using a mirror to do this. My mirror is actually pretty far away, so it's nice to do things a bit up close. So I just start at the middle and just resting my pinky on my cheekbone. So it kind of helps with steadiness of your hand. And I'm just gently going through the center of the brow. And I'm just gonna do the same on the other side. So I'm not using a heavy hand here, just very light brow strokes, hand strokes. I do have one of the Anastasia brow angled brushes. Where is it? And it has a spoolie at the end. It's nice for sure, but I'll show you another one that I actually prefer that I believe was only about $2. Just gotta find that brush first. Where did it go? These need a serious clean. Because brows or brushes work much better when they are clean, just because they're more fluffy and then are actually able to achieve the intended purpose when you have product in them, which a lot of mine do right now, so all good. But it can not give the intended results. Well, of course I can't find, oh, no, there it is, yay. So this is the number 12 by Anastasia. See, there's, that's wax. But yeah, the brush is quite small, and it's very thin and tapered. So like I said with the Cozzette, that one has a more flat surface. It's a little bit thicker, if that makes sense. So that's what I like for my brows, because I don't want this part too defined. I just want a nice looking base. And then the other brush that I absolutely love is from Wet n Wild. And I believe it was only like $2, and I got it from Rexall. But I believe Wet n Wild is also sold at Walmart as well, so to like smaller communities that may not have certain drugstores. There's usually a Walmart or in a close by town or anything like that, and I'm pretty sure you can order this online. But I find that I prefer this one the most if the day that I'm feeling wanting more definition with the brow pomade. This one is my go-to because the strokes are just perfect. And it's a little bit shorter in comparison to the Anastasia. So yeah, no, I love it. So I'm just going to go back in with the Cozzette brush. And so now I'm just going to gently push up. So starting from the base, and I already have a guideline because of the microblading, but we can go into measurements and whatnot in another video. But I'm just gently smoothing. So I'm pushing up here. And then just gently filling in the rest. But again, just a very nice light hand. And one of the things I learned from microblading, so when I did my microblading and microshading course with Marion at Studio Mina, most brow artists know, if you're a brow artist here, you've heard of the 3-point stretch. And I've actually been doing the 3-point stretch when applying my brows, because it just makes such a great impact because it's more precise. And if you have like any, not sagging, but if you pull it a little bit tighter, then you can get a nice even application. So what I mean by that is just using 2 fingers and then 3, kind of, you figure it out. It's hard to do like when I'm on camera and I'm like actually thinking about it. When I'm not, then it's easier. So I'm pulling this down, pulling this up, and then pulling to the side. So this is all stretched out now, and then I can just gently go along the top and just smooth it out a little bit more. So minimal product is key, because then it just looks soft, and you can't really tell as much, but you're still able to see. I'm actually doing this with my left hand right now. I'm kind of scared. I am not ambidextrous, as you can tell. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go in with my right hand now. Try to there we go. There, I think that's it. So another thing that I love to do is once I have my base down for my brows, I love to have a contrasting color. So usually this one would be a little bit lighter. So this is in shade Warm Black Brown, so that's number 5. And then I love, and who doesn't, the NYX Lift and Snatch Brow Tint Pen. I have this in 2 different shades. So sometimes I use 3 shades on my brows. Sometimes I use 2. Sometimes I use 1. It just depends. Where is the other one? I'm just not going to look for it right now. So this is the shade Expresso. So this one's going to be a little bit darker than this, which I like because when the base is a bit lighter and you add just like the defining strokes, it has more depth. And I'm just going to open this here. And I'm just going to use my mirror. And so I'm just going to pull the lid down. I hope you can see that. And so you kind of work from the wrist and gently flick up, or you can start from up here and gently flick down, like whatever you're comfortable with. I do a little bit of both. So it's great because I have a guideline. This is not, these strokes aren't off to a good start. Maybe I won't use this. Oh yeah, no I will. Okay, I'm not gonna stretch the skin. And just going with the natural brow hairs, a light hand again. So see, just working from the wrist, gently moving the brush. And when it comes to the tail, I don't take this part right to the end or anything like that. I slowly start flicking outwards. This looks really funny on my eye. But just gonna go gentle flicks like that. These are not pronounced by any means, but I'm just following natural brow hairs and the microblading. Okay, so now my eye's a little impacted by that, so I'm just gonna keep going in a regular fashion. Still resting my pinky. Just creates more stability. And as I get to the front, I'm actually making my hand even lighter. So it looks all right. Just gonna go from the top here. And so now I'm just doing gentle flicks up in the middle, just a touch, and moving it towards this direction. Just because that's my personal preference. Keeping it light. And then when it comes to this area right here, then I kind of go outside of the microblading and kind of moving towards the tail. And then you can just kind of like fill in the gaps, but just going a little bit lower, going through that gap, going a little bit lower, then go through that gap. And then yeah, that's all the attention I'm gonna put on that brow right now. And then we're gonna move to the other one. I'm just gonna do this one a little bit quicker. And this one is my very cooperative brow. And there seems to be a bit more product now, so it's definitely going on smoothly. That one smudged a little bit. trying to think of brow products. I really want to try, well, one of my favorites is the Sephora Collection retractable pencil, for sure. Like, that one's so tiny and is great for individual strokes. I just like this one the best, but from Sephora, I definitely love the Sephora Collection retractable pencil. Anastasia has nice ones, as well as Benefit for pencils, but I just find that for me, they show up on my skin kind of chalky. And this is just my opinion, this isn't everybody else's. And then Benefit used to have the Cabral, and then they discontinued it, but then they really released this one. And with the Powmade, brow pomade, I just love the texture and the formula in comparison to the Anastasia. And I find that this one lasts longer too. And especially if you don't have brow hair, like myself, I do have some for sure, but if you are like me and you may not have brows, I just find that this one doesn't have like an awkward shine from side to side, and it just looks luxurious, and it stays properly all day, permitting that I'm not like rubbing my brows aggressively, which I don't do during the day. So that part is done. Oh, wait. Yeah, that left brow is much nicer. I'm just going to make it match a little more. So I'm just going to fill in this part. So I'm not going straight up. I'm just kind of going towards the right side of my face and into the tail. I don't always take it right out because there's usually like a line down the middle of the tail where your hairs meet and are trying to figure things out. But yeah, no, I'm happy with that. And so I just find that looks really nice with contrasting colors. All right. Yay. Okay, and I'll bring it up close just so you can see. This lighting. Here we go. But I'm happy with that, and I'll do any touch-ups later as I so need. How'd I have my phone up there? There we go. Okay. So for the next part, I'm going to put on some setting spray by Morphe. I'm actually out of sunscreen at the moment, so I need to repurchase. So I'm not wearing any today. There is one, this one's pretty much done, but the Grown Alchemist, it's actually a natural hydrating sunscreen, SPF 30. I really like this one, but I don't think people with oily skin would love it just because the texture is oily. But it feels really nice, and it serves as an excellent base for makeup and protect you from the sun. I'm wondering if I will repurchase that one. I'm not quite sure just because it is a bit expensive, but it's a vegan sunscreen, and I think that's really incredible and important. I'm doing my best to like learn about brands and companies and whatnot. I still have a ways to go though. But yeah, no, that one looks like a good one, but I'm just gonna see what other options are out there too. So the setting spray is on. I'm just going to put on some of the Hourglass Veil Translucent Setting Powder. And I'm just going to use a nice fluffy brush by Cozzette. So this is just going to help my products adhere better to the skin. I think in my last video I sprayed afterwards, but I regretted doing that. And for my next step, I'm going to go in with the Dior Forever Skin Corrector. I am in shade 1.5N. I've said it before, this one's almost a perfect match, but it's so hydrating and lovely. And instead of foundation today, I'm just going to use this. So starting with the under eye, so looking at the applicator and how you're going to apply it makes all the difference. So I'm just going to place that right there, right here. And I'm going to go into this area. And going against everything that I've talked about in the past, I've changed my ways. I'm taking the applicator right over everything, but I'm just focusing on blemishes, but I'm doing actual strokes. And to the other side. And with the Charlotte Tilbury serum, I've definitely noticed a difference in application. So I've been getting breakouts like right on my jawline and like right in front of my ears, which is really uncomfortable because sometimes they can really hurt and be painful. But I just got a gym membership this week, and I'm just kind of in the process of like cutting out dairy and gluten. So that's a start. It's not perfect, but just moderation, or not getting super discouraged if something is included with one of my meals. Like, it is what it is, but just scaling it back a bit. Okay, so those parts are done. Just gonna go right here, and so with this next part, I'm gonna go in with the Sephora 57 concealer brush. I love this brush so much. I'm obsessed with it. So I'm just going in, patting in first. I'm not going right up to the eyelid, actually, where they like kind of have like a, not sagging, but that's, I feel like most people have this where there's this line right here. So I'm just focusing on using the concealer down here, taking it to my nose and in the corner there, and just gently pushing out the product after I went inwards and then out, inwards and then out. And gonna do the other side. This one has a little bit more product than the other, so I can use that in other spots on my face. And just going to bring that up. And then we're gonna work through the rest of them. And so just doing patting motions. And so one of the things I saw from Bobbi Brown with Jones Road Beauty, I guess is what the name is. I forget if that's the exact one, but close enough. One of the important goals to make it look like you're not wearing makeup or just doing general correcting is that if you see redness, just gently target that. I don't think redness is a bad thing, but just for a nice, even, complimentary look, if that's what you're looking for, that was a helpful tip for me. So I'm just going to go in with the brush over here. So there's more product on this part of my face than there was up here. So what I'm going to do next is going with a beauty blender. I feel like I never have time to like actually go wet it with water. I know that with Rose and Ben, it was suggested to leave one overnight. I always forget. But so I'm just going to use setting spray and a beauty blender. It's such a fine mist that I feel like it's a good consistency and it really stays. So I'm just going to go in and pressing up. Not with strong force by any means. Like, this has been my go-to lately. Like, I'm steering more away from full face foundations. Like, not, like, obviously I still wear it sometimes, but I just feel like I look more like me just using concealer. And I love the Dior one. So my favorite contour stick right now is Milk Makeup. I've seen opinions about how a lot of people prefer this one. As far as application goes, it's really seamless. I've heard great things about the Rare Beauty one as well. This one is in the shade Baked. So I don't have pronounced cheekbones when I'm just looking without smiling. But when I smile, you can see them. But so I'm just creating kind of like an illusion. It can be a little bit hard to figure out where they are sometimes, but I just kind of feel it out with the sponge. Not aggressively, but so what I find complements my face shape is just, so with a very light hand, just because I have breakouts in this region, so it can be a little bit tricky, but I add it in this area ever so slightly. And I'm just gonna go in here, do a quick little nose contour. And also with full face foundation, like, it just doesn't suit me anymore. When you have great skin and you're a bit younger, it can look amazing. But just for me, I just find that I'm trying to look young and I look worse. So I'm gonna go in with Rare Beauty. So I'm gonna use that technique that I kind of made up. So going in with the applicator, and I'm just going to, this part isn't made up. This is like actually like a technique that was recommended by Rare Beauty. Like when you have the product, to gently move it from the side. And this thing's gonna last me until like my 80s, I swear to goodness, because there's a little bit goes such a long way. So I'm just gonna do a little circle there. My voice just cracked. And here. So I'm going to use 2 different fingers for this. So I'm going to go in with the ring finger first, and I'm just tapping it in. But with whatever finger is next to it. So this is my middle finger, but you can use the pinky, or if you can just kind of correspond, it just helps. Then I'm just going to tap that ring around that impacted spot that I just did, if that makes sense. So like I go in first, and then I go around it. And it just looks like the littlest, cute little pink cheekbone. So just tapping that in, using the other finger, and going around. And then you really can't see the makeup. Like, it just blends right in. And then if you want, you can go in with more, because you'll still have a little bit on those fingers. And yeah, so I'm just going to keep it like that for now. And then as I complete the look, then I can figure out, where's my eye red? I'll be right back. I gotta check the time. So again, I don't have any time, so I will finish the look and get back to you shortly. Okay, so I just did that really fast. I'm going to just add a little bit of the Nars Laguna bronzer. And what else was I going to do? I'm just going to go in with Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. And that's it. I'm ready for work, and I will talk to you soon.